Hello, everyone. On this podcast episode, I'm going to talk about the Bible and the verse where the Bible says, the Bible tells you, warns you to avoid sinners. And, the entire Bible has been teaching you to avoid sinners, avoid conflict and avoid, people who harm you, people who treat you badly, people who look down on you, and people who mock you, you know. And you should follow that advice. You should follow the advice of the Bible. The Bible tells you to avoid sinners. Do not dwell in the midst of sinners. And, you should truly follow that advice because there's so many cases of people hanging around bad friends and ending up getting killed by their friends. It happens far too often. There's a statistic out there that says that you're more likely to be killed by someone you know than someone you don't know. You should listen to that advice. You're more likely to be killed by someone you know than someone you don't know. So why you're afraid of, someone else killing you, some random stranger killing you, the person you least expect to kill you the most may be the one that'll kill you. And that's what you need to be careful of. And that's why you need to avoid sinners. If you see someone, who treats others badly, that person will treat you badly as well. Is likely to treat you badly as well. If you see someone who bullies others, that person is likely to bully you as well. If you see someone who kills others, that person is likely to kill you as well. If you see someone who steals from others, that person is likely to steal from you as well. If you see someone who scams others, that person is likely to scam you as well. If you see someone who manipulates others, who plays tricks and lies a lot, that person is likely, to manipulate you, trick you, and lie to you as well. Many people always fall for the belief that, hey, this is my friend or this is my family member. I know this person, so they'll never harm me. You're wrong. Not everyone around you is trustworthy. If they're capable of harming someone else, they're also capable of harming you. If they're capable of, abusing other people, they'll also be capable of abusing you as well. You have to be careful around sinners. The Bible will not warn you to avoid sinners if being around sinners is harmless. Sinners, the more people sin, the people who feel comfortable sinning, people who feel comfortable sinning on a daily basis, you should avoid them. They're the most untrustworthy people you can ever meet. Meaning you trust in people you shouldn't be trusting. You're trusting people with your life that you shouldn't be trusting. There's so many cases that, you can just, if you go on TikTok or YouTube, you can find criminal cases. There's so many crime channels out there. And many of them, the pattern is, many of them are family members killing family members, friends killing friends, cousins killing cousins, business partners and neighbors killing business partners, neighbors killing neighbors. It's rarely ever random strangers killing random strangers. These occur, yes, but the likelihood of them occurring is far lower than the ones where they know each other. And this is what you need to be careful of. There was a case that I read, that I watched of a lady. The lady was talking about her family members, right? And it wasn't just the lady talking about it. When I did my own research on the case, I ended up finding out that it was actually true. The lady's mother and father, the lady's mother, grandmother, and family members from her mother's side of the family were all killed by her father. And this is what you need to be careful of. Because when you see someone witness a crime, right? The Bible follows this mindset as well. If you see someone witness a crime and you don't call the cops, you become a criminal as well. The Bible follows that mindset. If you see someone doing something bad and you don't do anything about it. You don't try to distance yourself from it. It's a sin in and of itself to allow people to do bad things around you, and you let it go. If you see someone witnessing a crime, if you see someone commit a crime, and you hide it from, you don't call the cops, you don't do anything, you hide that information from everyone. You've become a criminal in the eyes of the law. And this is what you need to be careful of. You're not only a criminal in the eyes of the law, if you don't do anything about it, even God himself does not see you as a righteous person. If people are doing bad things around you and you don't distance yourself from them, you become part of the problem. It's a sin to dwell around, among sinners. If you see people doing evil deeds and you yourself are a Christian or a righteous person, and you stay amongst them, you don't distance yourself from them, you don't run away from them, you don't even call the cops, you've committed a crime and you've sinned. If you see people doing evil deeds and you let them do it, it's a sin in and of itself. If you don't want them to stop or you don't walk away from them, you're the problem. It's a sin to be among sinners, especially when you know they're sinning in front of you and you do nothing to distance yourself away from it. If you don't distance yourself away from sinners, you already know what's going to happen to you. It's not going to be a good ending. That person, you're trusting. You trust them so much that you hide their crimes from the police. Just like the lady that I talked about, that I talked to you about just a few minutes ago. Her mother and her grandmother and everyone on the mother's side of the family knew that the father was a criminal. But they hid all his faults. They hid all his crimes from the cops, thinking that he won't kill them for it. They trusted him so much that they covered up for him. They covered up for his criminal behavior. He was a mass murderer, was a hitman, and he was a drug trafficker. The mother, the child, the lady herself, and everyone in her family knew he was a bad guy. He did drugs, he smuggled drugs, and he killed people. And he was even running away from the cops, and the family members helped cover up for him, without realizing that in the future, he will actually send a hitman to their doorstep to kill everyone. They covered up for someone who will kill them in the future. If they had called the cops to begin with, he would have been locked up a long time ago. But they didn't call the cops. They covered up for him, thinking that, hey, this guy is he's my man. The father of my child is my husband. He would not harm me in any way, shape, or form. That was the mindset of the mother and her side of the family. Even though they knew he was a sinner, they didn't care. They protected him. They protected him to their own downfall. Instead of distancing themselves away from him, they did the opposite. They became closer to him, gave him children. They gave him a child, the lady herself. And in the future, that father, while he was on the run, do you know what he did? He sent a hitman to their doorstep to kill everyone except the lady, because that lady was his daughter. So he killed everyone except the lady in order to steal money from them. And this is why you need to, you need to avoid sinners, is that they're not reliable. Sinners will betray you faster than you can possibly imagine. You cover up for sinners, thinking, hey, I'm covering up for my homeboy or my homegirl, my best friend, without realizing that if they can harm others, they can harm you as well. If they can kill others, they can kill you as well. Do you know how many people kill their girlfriends just to hide their secrets? When the relationship is going good, the girlfriend will cover up for the guy, right? And when the guy wants to break up, he'll kill the girlfriend just so she doesn't tell the cops in the future. Or when the girlfriend wants to break up, he'll kill her just to, stop her from telling the cops in the future. And this happens with women too. There are also news of women killing their boyfriends to hide their criminal activities. It happens to both sexes. And this is why you need to be careful. If you see someone committed a crime, thinking that, hey, if I back him up, he'll back me up in the future, you're wrong. Sinners are the most untrustworthy people in your life. They will betray you sooner or later. It's only a matter of time before they betray you, just like they betrayed other people, just like they betrayed everyone else. It's only a matter of time before they betray you too. You're just waiting for your turn. That's what you're doing. You're just waiting for your turn. They won't be called sinners if they were trustworthy. They won't be called sinners if they were kind. They won't be called sinners if they care about the people around them. Sinners do not care about anyone. They only care about themselves. They're extremely selfish. They're extremely selfish people who only care about themselves. Not you, not your family members, and not anyone around them. They only care about themselves. So if you cover up for these sinners, when they betray you in the future, don't say the Bible didn't warn you. Don't say the Bible didn't warn you to stay away from them. It's only a matter of time before they betray you. You must always remember, you're more likely to be killed by someone you know than someone you don't know. It's not a random stranger that's going to kill you. It's one of the sinners in your family. One of the sinners that you know. It may not even be part of your family. I'm not going to say it's your family. But it's one of the sinners that you know that'll kill you. There's so many cases out there of people killing, their friends, people in relationship killing each other. It's just endless. Just because you don't see it does not mean it doesn't happen. If you go online, you can find endless cases of it. Friends betraying friends, lovers betraying lovers, parents betraying parents, children betraying parents, and parents betraying their own kids. It happens all the time. If you see someone doing a crime, just know that crime could occur to you as well. Do not think you're immune to danger. You're not. As long as you dwell among sinners, you'll never be immune to danger. Avoid sinners. The Bible warns you to avoid sinners because if you don't avoid sinners, you're enabling them to continue, their sins. You're enabling them to continue their crimes. If you see someone commit a crime, you don't tell them to stop. Or you don't call the cops. You are enabling them to continue doing their crimes. Distance yourself from criminals. Because it's only a matter of time before they turn the sword that they used to kill others against you. It's only a matter of time before they turn that weapon towards you. And at that time, who would you call for help? When you had the chance to run away, you didn't run away. When you had the chance to call the cops to help you, you didn't call the cops to help you. When you had the chance to be free, you chose to be in prison instead. And when they turn on you, when they betray you, that's when you realize that it was already too late. You should have called the cops a long time ago. You should have left them. Even if you don't want to call the cops, at least leave. Stay away from them. Stay away from sinners. I'm not telling you to call the cops if you feel unsafe, because the cops only show up after a crime has been committed. Meaning, if the criminal ever finds out that you call the cops on them, they could get you killed. So the best advice, if you don't feel safe, just distance yourself from criminals. Distance yourself from sinners. It'll save your life in the future. It'll save your happiness in the future. Because you can't be happy among sinners. Sinners are not happy people. If you hang around these people, you sooner or later will start to become depressed just like them. They'll try to force you to behave just like them. They'll try to force you to kill others just like them. They'll try to force you to mock others just like them. They'll try to force you to abuse others just like them. They'll try to force you to scam others just like them. They'll try to force you to behave the way they behave, act the way they act, be as cruel as them. And if you follow them, it's only a matter of time before you ruin your own life. So when the Bible warns you to avoid sinners, you should take that advice, because that advice will save your life in the future. It will change your life in the future. Stop, bowing down to peer pressure. If they're sinners, they're not your friends. Sinners rarely ever have real friends, because they're too fake to have real friends. They don't treat their friends very well. They don't treat people around them very well. They call each other friends, but they're not friends. They're fake friends who will betray each other sooner or later. And that's what you need to be careful of. Sinners do not have real friends. They just can't. They have fake friends that will betray them in the future. This is why all these gangs are always breaking up. They're always infighting. One moment is one gang. The next moment, they've turned into multiple different gangs. It's always occurring. These gangs rarely ever stay as one gang for long before they start betraying each other. Sinners don't have friends. They can't. There's no friendship in hell. So while they're going towards the gates of hell, they'll slowly turn their friends into enemies. The more they sin, the more their friends slowly become their enemies and become their fake friends. Friends who will betray them in the future. That's what you need to be careful of. Although hell looks beautiful from the outside, there's only misery there for you. Although these fake friends look like they're happy on the outside, they'll betray themselves in the future. Only betrayal is, hidden behind that fake friendship. Only betrayal. It's only a matter of time before they betray each other. It's only a matter of time. If you dwell around them, if you dwell, within their midst, when they betray each other, they'll betray you too. And this is what you need to be careful of. Sinners are more prone to betrayal than anyone else. This is why you should avoid them. No matter how kind you are to them, they will still betray you. And that's why you need to know that. That's why the Bible warns you to avoid sinners, to avoid betrayers, to avoid people who will stab you in the back. Avoid sinners, because the only way to live a good life. If you dwell in the midst of sinners, it's only a matter of time before your life turns into a living hell. It's only a matter of time. So that's it for today's podcast episode. I pray for everyone's safety and understanding. Amen.